Hello there, thank you for visiting Offcam Celebs once more. For today's video, we will be talking about 15 disgusting things that Stranger Things actors had to do behind the scenes. Let's begin. Lube. Jamie Campbell Bower was given the privilege of primping for Vecna. However, the device is wonderful for more than the simply prosthetics. Did you know that your neighborhood's friendly Spider-Man had no way to go home and needed lubrication to get into his Spidey suit? Or, at the very least, Tom Holland did. Oh, what a horror it would be to be slimy all day. First kisses. Given how talented Millie is for her age, Matt Duffer noted that it was sometimes simple to forget how young she was. Of course, occasionally her age would be obvious, like how Millie anticipated kissing Finn Wolfhard in the season 1 for 2 months, thinking about how revolving and dreadful it would be, and wondered the entire time why the idiots wrote it in. Not the character? Well, that also reminded them that she was just 11 years old. She got by. Burgers and fries. Burgers and fries served cold are undoubtedly less satisfying than cold pineapple pizza. Yes, back in season 1, Millie consumed an excessive number of cold burgers and fries, more than an adult male could bear. We're talking about eating at least 3 burgers in one sitting, let alone a 10-year-old girl. Poor Millie, they constantly advise actresses to eat well, but they still do this. Sniffling mess. Joe Keery, who was ill, was forced to film. Before the terrible pandemic, this was a more frequent occurrence. He was already extremely congested, but they also blew menthol into his eyes to reduce the redness. He had to have prosthetics put on his face and was already a slimy, runny mess before the fake pounding even started. He had a cut lip, a split jaw, and a mixture of cotton and dried blood on him. Hopefully, the appendages were sneeze-proof. Millie's nosebleeds. The nosebleeds Millie gets are very bizarre. She must therefore squirt the fake blood up her nose before the scenario begins. They begin filming right away and essentially hope for the best in terms of scheduling. Fun fact, to get the goo moving while employing her powers, she tilts her heads downwards. 2 varieties of fake blood exist. Well, there are probably a lot more, but there are 2 different kinds of fake blood. There are 2 types, those you wear and those that enter your body. Her treatment for Millie's nosebleeds was corn soup, the dreaded EGGOS. When eaten directly from the box, EGGOS are actually the worst. When actors' ego on screen is like 2 dozen in front of the camera. So whenever you see actors devouring food in the movie, you know they were in for a dreadful few hours. We wager that Millie will never again view EGGOS in the same light. The mind flayer. In this scenario, the leg you're looking at isn't even a millipede. It's just prosthetics that have been covered in gross materials. Thankfully, the moving mental flare was added after the fact and wasn't a hideous animatronic. Since it is already so real, we couldn't handle it if it were any more real. Edible blood. One thing you don't have to worry about when it comes to noses is taste, but the mouth is a whole other matter. The edible blood that is typically ingested via the mouth and not the nose must be made safe for the actor. The edible blood had a rather horrible taste, but as stranger things happened, their concoctions became a little more delectable. It's merely an extra effort on the makeup team's part to improve the flavor of the fake blood. Frosting. While most people might consider this to be a delicious treat, Noah Schnapp wasn't having any of it. Head of makeup Amy Forsythe wanted Will Byers to look ill, so they faded out the color of his tongue, similar to the blood's. There are instances where this coloration is necessary. You'd think icing and green food coloring would go well together, but it turns out that Schnapp despises frosting. Forsythe was allowed to exact revenge on Will by spraying her with a super soaker after all the pain he subjected her to with frosting. Post-PROSTHETICS. This list comprises primarily of sticky things. Therefore, a different title for the show would have been appropriate. It's one thing to put on disgusting, ugly prosthetics and look in the mirror. We have to admit that taking off disgusting, unpleasant prosthetics is a far odd experience than playing with prosthetic slime. The prosthetic chin. A good bear can dramatically improve the jawline. David Harbour had much more than just a beard, which had the opposite effect on his jaw. The neck isn't genuine. It's a synthetic beard with fake beard hair since he had to dress up in a prosthetic that apparently mirrored the weight he was in season 3 for the flashback scene. Despite Harbour's dislike of prosthetics, the procedure for this one was rather pleasant due to a fantastic team. The Sting. It's not always the obscene prosthetics. Sometimes it's the actors themselves who are offensive, unless one of the lads is so gassy that the bus has been evacuated more than once. Filming in a bus is typically not cause of concern. It has never been revealed who chopped the cheddar, which is pretty kind of them, we suppose. For Millie was upset with her stinky co-star. However, David Harbour losing her EGGOS. Millie. Poor Millie. Lost her EGGOS at one scene in the emptiness. She certainly doesn't look to blame, to be honest. In a post, she captioned, quote, "You spin me right round, baby. Right round, ah." Threw up after this. The Duffer brothers assumed that Millie had previously vomited on the set because she had done so previously. She was pretty bold in season 1 to play a practical joke on the writers before she started throwing up the water gag. Glossy finish. To produce a flayed effect, Dacre was completely covered in lip gloss, as well as muck and grit. Not only lip gloss, mud, and dirt, but also another coat of lip gloss to bind everything together. Mud. Mud has covered David Harbour. Sorry, that wasn't mud. It was sticky espresso grounds that the makeup artist grabbed directly from the trailer's espresso machine. The recipe had to be exact. No alternatives. Coffee simply isn't good enough. Espresso is required, and in season 2, Popper was frequently plastered in the muck. Harbour was a good sport about it, but Amy claimed that at the end of the day, he was grateful for the hot towel. What gross out moment from Stranger Things behind the scenes did you find most disgusting? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video.